today's head coach's press conference, our final official press conference of the 2013 Valero Alamo Bowl. This year, Texas is the home team, and Oregon is the visitor. I'd like to introduce Coach Mack Brown, if you could do opening statements, and then we'll introduce Coach Helfrich.
Thank you. It's been a great week. I've enjoyed getting to know Mark and his staff. His defensive coordinator, Nick Aliotti, is one of the great ones in our business, and for him to be stepping away is significant because he's such a great coach and been that way for so many years. Mark's done a tremendous job of taking over for a program that was winning like they are now, and he's continued to keep it in the same light and will continue to do so. So the players have gotten along great this week. The city of San Antonio continues to be awesome for hospitality. The Alamo Bowl and the city are just a great combination for fun for kids. But it's always fun when you can appreciate and enjoy the coaches on the other side, and the players last night had a lot of fun together. So that's fun and builds up to a great game. What we did on Christmas Day when we got here is we told our players that this was not about farewells. This was not about where I am in life. It's not about where the coaches are in life. What this is a reward for them for winning the games they won this year and fighting back and coming from behind and playing a great opponent on Monday night. So we have actually asked them not to mention the coaching situation because that would be very, very unfair to the Alamo Bowl, to Mark, or to them. This is about them. It's about the seniors' last game. It's about the younger players moving forward. So we have not talked about that all week. And if you watch Oregon on video, that takes your mindset away. You don't have to worry about what happens on Tuesday. So we're excited about the game. It's been a great week. And Mark.
Thank you. Can I just say ditto to a lot of that? But it has been a great week. We've had the reception here from the top down has been outstanding. The people associated with the Alamo Bowl have been outstanding. Pat and Derek and everybody else that we've come in contact with has been just beyond our highest expectation. The city of San Antonio has been a lot of fun. Had a great time last night, as Coach Brown said, with our players and families down out on the Riverwalk for a great event. And like Coach said, a tremendous challenge of watching Texas on tape. Woke us up immediately of starting to prepare for the build-up to this game, and our guys had a great couple weeks of kind of Texas prep, as well as getting a jump with our younger players for advancing their jump on spring ball a little bit. And I will talk about the coaching change a little bit because Coach Brown, just again, I call him an icon of our game, and as I've been around him more and more this week, it's made it more and more difficult. I like to get a little anger going before the game, and when you're around him, he's just more impressive, more classy, but just better than the high expectations that I had coming into this deal. I've had a ton of conversations with him about things that I'll take with me forever, and will hopefully make me a better coach, and just can't say enough about how impressive it is to be around him and his wife Sally, and again, like he said, their players, every player that I've come in contact with at Texas has been top-notch human being, and I think that's, again, a testament to him and his staff. As for the game, we're excited to go. I think we've had a great week down here of focused football and then fun when it's time to have fun, and we're getting closer and closer to that to kickoff, so it feels more like a football game than a bowl game.
Questions?
Thank you.
Perfect. Run.
Mac, there was a story out this week that you stepping aside was not your choice. I wonder if you could address that.
I can address that after watching Oregon's video, we have been totally focused on Oregon and nothing else.
Mac, players came in yesterday. We talked to Greg Robinson yesterday. They all seem to be full speed ahead. How have you managed the information so that your players are doing nothing but being focused on the game?
This has been one of the more fun groups that I've ever coached, being around the assistant coaches and the players. From our poor start and a lot of speculation and negative things being said early, these guys have focused on winning. And they had that great run for 6 weeks, and they had a chance to beat Baylor in the last half for the conference championship and came up short, but at no time have they not given us their best and been focused each week. And the assistant coaches the same way. After Ole Miss, these guys committed to us that they would continue to do everything they could do to help Texas, because that's really important to us that Texas play well and do well. And I asked the assistant coaches even this week, let's focus on this game. Let's don't talk about other jobs. If you need me, I will help you, but I'd rather do it after Monday night. I'd rather do it Tuesday. So let's do nothing but give Texas our best this last week, and let's give these young people our best. And it would have been impossible for us to ask them to focus and give us respect and discipline and effort for the last week unless we gave them the same. So we think that's all worked out for both. Very, very proud of everybody in the Longhorn organization.
Mack, real quick about Malcolm Brown. He talked yesterday about he felt that there was an opportunity around the OU game to sort of step in, make his mark. I know Joe had some issues there, and then Jonathan had some fumbleitis issues, and it just seemed like, was that game as a staff where y'all felt, hey, Malcolm, here's your chance, and he really took off with it?
Yeah, we felt since he's been here, it's ready to happen. Ole Miss 2 years ago, he was unbelievable. Just had an amazing game. Then the third play of the game against Oklahoma State, he hurts his ankle and really doesn't come back for the rest of the year. He played a little bit latter part of the year, but he was never the same. So this is the first year that he's been healthy all year, and I just think he'll have an opportunity to leave, obviously, but I think if he comes back, and I would think he would come back, that he would be one of the better running backs in the country next year.
Coach Helfrich, we had an Alamo Bowl hashtag question. What was player reaction, your reaction to the end zones? I know you guys kind of spruced them up this year when you get one.
I didn't actually. I walked around the Texas end zone. I saw it. It looked fantastic. I didn't get a chance to get down to the Oregon end zone, so hopefully we'll find that Monday night. But we just went in, took the team picture, and hustled here. So, but anything that Nike has designed has been fairly impressive, and I'm confident it'll be fantastic on television for the crowd in attendance.
Mack, have you come close to reaching terms on your buyout agreement with Texas?
We are excited about Oregon and Monday night. So can't wait.
Yeah.
Great week. I said at the first of the week we would focus on these kids in this game, and that's absolutely what I'm going to do. Every ounce of my energy will be doing the best I can do to coach this game on Monday night. And by the way, we've even said we're not coaching it like it's the last one. We're going to coach it to do everything that we would do if it was 16 years ago to win the game. So we're going to do our best, and that's our job and our responsibility. It would be disrespectful to Mark and his great team and staff. It would be disrespectful to the Alamo Bowl for me to sit up here and talk about me tonight because this isn't about me.
Do you worry about being overly emotional in your last game with the Longhorns?
I'm overly emotional for 30 years of being a head coach, so that'll probably be the same.
Coach Helfrich, we talked to Josh yesterday. Talk a little bit about the edge of your offense, the attitude they have. We talked to Marcus yesterday. We talked to Josh, kind of how they manage themselves and the vigor with which they play offense.
Well, that's something we take a lot of pride in. Is not only the tempo that we play at, but we want to play physically as well. We don't want to just be a run and shoot-esque type of edge to our deal. And one of those things that we always point out is our ability to block on the perimeter. And that's something that we take great pride in. Our receivers blocking, in this case, some tremendously talented secondary people that Texas has. That'll be something that will be huge in the game, as it is every week. And we do need to play with an edge. We don't need to play with chaos. As the last time we were in Texas, Josh was a little over-emotional at the beginning of the game, and so we've talked about that a little bit of playing within, right on the fine line of that edge, and still executing.
Mark, I know in talking to your players this week, they said the last 4 or 5 weeks have really been good for them to get their edge back. Do you get the feeling that since November they've kind of got their mojo back as far as approaching what they were doing early in the season rather than late in the season?
We sure hope so, I guess. I think when we lost our first game and the world came to an end, we realized, and we woke up the next day that, hey, maybe the world didn't come to an end, but there were still some stragglers, and there was absolutely some disappointment and, kind of punched in the gut type of feeling for a few guys that just need to grow up and realize that there's a lot of ball left to be played. And as it played out, we could have played ourselves into a better situation, quote unquote, but we didn't earn that. And I think part of that is how I manage that I can do better. Part of that is realizing that the guys in the helmets are the guys that make it happen and earn it. They don't, like I said the other day, they don't give us points because the O shows up and we step on the field and they put 27 points on the board. Can we do that, by the way? 28 maybe. But
I've been seeing 65 when I've looked at your stuff.
But just that mentality of grinding out everything, earning everything is something that has been our calling card for a long time, and especially our younger guys just need to realize that. And I think the disappointment or whatever those emotions were, we handled as well as we possibly could in some regards. In some facets of our team, we didn't handle that so well. But these last couple weeks, I think our guys have prepared well. One, out of respect for our opponent, and another of playing Oregon football.
The expectation for both of these programs is to be playing in the last game at the end of the year, and neither one of us are doing that. But a lot of people would love to be in Oregon's situation as a top 10 team that lost to a great team and then had a tough one on the road, and that's it, and have a lot of people back for next year. So those guys they've been on a great run. Their run. And I told their staff this the other night, their run as of late here has been like the run we had from 04 to 09, and it's been fun to watch them.
Hey, Mark, Nick said that he wanted to retire after the Fiesta Bowl last year, and you kind of talked him into coming back and helping the transition. Is that accurate? And if so, what did it mean for you to have him this year?
As I said the other day, Nick's contributions have been, they're things that you can't overstate them enough, and I think that's the best way to put it. Of his contributions on and off the field have been immeasurable to the as Coach Brown just said, the advancement, so to speak, of our program. There was never a talking into or talking out of any. I don't think that's exactly how I put it to him. It's not. I can't. That's a lifetime decision that you're making. He's at a point in his life where he's happy and healthy. His wife and his family are happy and healthy. Go play golf, make some tee times. I guarantee he and Coach Brown are going to have. They already have two for a foursome at their country club of choice here for years to come. But that timing was totally his call.
Nick told me he was a 20 handicap the other night.
24.
I said,
24 the next time he sees you.
Yeah. Oh, there's no question. I didn't buy any of it.
Smart man.
Mark, you said that your team couldn't quite match up from a talent standpoint to Texas. Where do they rank among the other teams you played this season?
Really high. And the context of that, somebody had asked, how do you prepare for a Malcolm Brown, or how do you prepare for the offensive line? And like most people, we don't have those guys laying around. We don't have a Malcolm Brown on our team, let alone, the third guy or the fourth guy that can simulate that guy in a scout team situation. But, Texas is obviously legendary for its ability to recruit, and obviously the talent in the state, and a talent-rich state, and a talent-laden roster of those in-state guys. And just seeing them at the banquet last night, that was not fun. But we've got some things that we hope that we'll be able to do, and our guys will certainly show up and play hard.
The problem for us is we tried to catch some of theirs leaving the banquet, and we couldn't catch them either. So.
Mack, can you talk about what you've seen from Tyrone Swoops in these bowl preparations?
Yeah, Tyrone's done really well, so we're very, very proud of him, and I think he's got a great future ahead.
Mark, back here in the back, to your left, there you go. Last year at the Fiesta Bowl, you were offensive coordinator. Your responsibilities certainly were different. Can you talk about how you've managed as a head coach this year, the bowl responsibilities as a head coach?
Just trying to make sure everybody's on time and working hard. I think for the most part of having a plan coming into it, of kind of how we've managed in the past and tweaking some of those things, or getting some different input, whether it's from Jim Radcliffe, our strength coach, or of just peaking on Monday night. That's the whole point of this, and how we managed Christmas and all those things. We didn't do anything terribly different from a logistical standpoint from the last couple of years, but just getting, I think, more or less just the psychological nature of things, getting everybody's minds rested, happy, and healthy, and ready for these last couple weeks of pure Texas preparation.
Mack, hindsight obviously being 2020, but as you look back at this season, is there anything you could have done differently or you would have done differently as you look back on things, or did it play out just the way it was kind of meant to play out?
No, I would have won all the games. That would have been the better thought for me if we could have done that by lots. Played a lot of guys, had happy moms and dads and happy media and happy fans. That would have been fun. We've done that, and it's a lot more fun.
Mark, over here. What went into your decision to have Nick announce his retirement on Friday?
Well, when he'd been talking about this for a while, and again, his thing that he kept saying is he wanted to manage the message, or be able to control the message, which in the modern Twitter verse, that's difficult if you don't make the announcement. And so when I asked, he was bringing this up, and the only way to do that would have been to do it before the game, because he wanted to tell the team and he wanted to tell the staff before anybody else. And to do that, you have to do that before Monday night. There's no other way. And I think the timing of it, just of how he wanted to do it with the press conference the next day, was something that worked out. But that was definitely a group decision.
Mack, if the 4-team playoff was in effect now, do you think Oregon would be good enough to be one of those 4 teams?
Let me give you his answer.
Yes. No. I'd go 4. 4 with the best chance to win and get in there. No. Well, I said Mark announced Nick, so our farewell party wouldn't be good there. He's got their defense pumped now, so that's it upstages. No, I do think that's one of the great things about the playoff moving forward. I'm hoping that at some point, if you get a great team like Oregon that has an injury or two and it costs you a game at midseason, I'd rather see it be 8 teams and see who the best teams are at the end. I think right now a loss in college football is the most difficult loss in any sporting event across the country. And I'm not saying that about Oregon. There's some other teams that we'd all like to see a playoff here. What a great playoff if we had about 4 more weeks of the best teams playing the best teams instead of some of the bowls we're watching, very honestly, and still let those bowls be out there. But let's don't take a great team and have them in a lesser bowl. Let's let them have a chance to play for it at the end. And I think that's where we're headed. I wish it was more than 4, because next year we're going to be worried about who's 5 and who's 6, and somebody's going to get left out of that's a really good football team, because now I think we're going to see a national champion with 2 losses at some point in the next 4 or 5 years. And that's just where we are. I think we're headed more to an NFL model than ever before in my coaching career. And there's some things that are positive about that, but there's some things that are negative. But it would give a team like Oregon a chance right now to be back in the mix instead of walking off the field against Stanford and everybody talking about you've lost your chance. I mean, that's not fair. That's just it shouldn't be that way in my estimation.
Mark, what's your timetable for hiring a defensive coordinator? And as someone who was promoted from within, is that a priority for you to promote from within and keep continuity at that position?
Go last first. The priority is what's best for Oregon football, and the second part of that, no timeline. Our priority number 1, AAA number 1 is to beat Texas, and our focus is 100% on that, and we'll manage that behind the scenes. And we have some great coaches on our staff, and there's some great coaches that we've either been around or been in contact with in the past that will be in the mix in that regard. And I've read a lot of things that I've done over the last 3 or 4 days that I haven't done, so it's been exciting to see those developments.
Welcome to Texas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but in due course, there's no hurry at all.
Mark asked me about it last night, and if I was interested, and I told him, with all due respect, we should wait till Tuesday to talk more about it.
Tuesday morning.
Yeah, Tuesday morning.
Had to wait for the negotiations.
Max, since we're not going to be able to see you on Tuesday, a lot of people
We're not
obviously
hanging
wanna
out?
know-
He's going to be in
Well,
Bora
you and me,
Bora.
Matt.
Yeah, luncheon or something?
We could.
Coffee?
We could. A lot of people want to know, do you want to keep coaching? What have you envisioned for yourself come Tuesday and beyond?
I have envisioned doing the best job I can do for this football team between now and Monday night. And it would be unfair for me to have even thought about anything else. And then after that, I'll obviously have some time to think. But it'd be unfair and disrespectful to everybody here for us to keep talking about me. No. I don't drink coffee.
Mark, right here. In the Stanford game, why did you decide to let Marcus keep playing after he partially tore his MCL, and how much healthier is he now?
Marcus was our best option. There was no point at which the medical team, in any way was, hey, this guy's in danger. That a detrimental kind of a situation to re-aggravate something would come up. And he was our best option. Marcus is a great player, and if we make 2 plays at the beginning of that game, it's a totally different story. Make a couple plays on special teams, a couple plays on defense, it's like anybody. When you play against a great team, the margins are very slim. What was the second part?
How much healthier is he now, and his ability to run, which makes the offense a lot more dynamic?
1%.
He's looked really good at practice.
How do you know?
We've been out there.
We are in Texas.
I just wanted to get your impressions, Coach Helfrich, of Texas defensive line, Jackson Jeffcoat, and your overall impressions of the defense.
Outstanding. I mean, you can certainly see the impact of the coaching change was immediate. The scheme was different. Different. Their pursuit of the ball was different, and that's one of those things that is a tough deal, tough call to make in season. But the impact was huge. And to Jackson Jeffcoat is one of the many things that make them really good on defense. Two great corners that can cover anybody, and you see the best of the Big 12 getting locked up every week, and they do a great job of mixing a ton of coverages. They're very similar to Stanford in that way of a bunch of different coverages, a bunch of ways that they can attack formationally from a defensive standpoint, and then up front they do a great job of mixing and matching by game plan against. They'll play one team completely different than another team, completely different than another, and so it kind of gives you a bunch of straws to pull out as far as what they're going to do against us. And so it'll be a game of adjustments at some point, and then a little bit of a game of just do what you do.
Mack, as far as your offensive line with Kennedy Estelle out, and I assume Josh Cochran out, and maybe Desmond Harrison, you got any new players coming in there?
Yes, I'm sorry. We've recruited 4 guys this week off the waiver wire. Now, Desmond Harrison did not make the trip because he's had a personal family issue at home, and his family's in our thoughts and prayers as that continues to progress. Hopefully it'll improve. Kennedy Estelle's obviously at home. Josh Cochran will not play tackle. He's played some tight end, but he's lost too much weight after his shoulder injury to do that, so he comes in short yards and goal line, some at tight end. So what you have to do is move Trey Hopkins to right tackle and Ced Flowers to left guard and move forward. And also Hassan Ridgeway is out with an arm injury, and he will not play in the game, will not dress or play.
Mack, throughout the season, how much have injuries affected how you play and change, what you have to do?
The biggest thing is you it's part of the game. you go back and look, probably 8 of our top 10 players will not dress Monday night. So it's been a difficult thing. One of the things a new coach is going to have to look at is why we've had so many injuries over the last 3 years. And then I think nationally we've all got to look at it. It seems like there are more injuries out there this year than maybe in the past, or maybe we're just hearing about them more. But I think the biggest impact is at quarterback, when the quarterback that you're playing isn't he doesn't run the same plays as the one that you were playing. So obviously you have to make a major change because Case is not a guy that's going to run the option and quarterback draws and do the things that David did. So that's been a pretty big burden for transition for our offensive staff to change as much as we had to. But I think they've done a good job, and Case has done a good job stepping up. It also affects you on special teams, and that's one of the things. When you look at a team to see how well they're coached, Oregon has probably had as many punt returns and kickoff returns for touchdowns as anybody in the country. And one of the things I always look to first is the speed of your team always shows up on special teams. The depth of your team shows up on special teams, but also your coaching. Because a lot of teams can run an offense, a lot of teams can run a defense, but these guys win a lot of games with kicking game, and that's very impressive.
Mark, we talked to some of the guys yesterday about embracing the challenge of this being a semi-road game, considering it's here in Texas. Would you talk about that a little bit, about embracing being on the road? And I think the numbers are 80% are going to be Texas fans in the Alamo Dome tomorrow night.
Yeah. Oh, that's probably a conservative number too, but yeah, we've approached it exactly like a road game and a hostile road game. And just being in the Alamo Dome, this is the first time I've been in there. It's very similar to what's it called now, University of Phoenix Stadium, in terms of it's a big basketball arena with that'll be a great atmosphere. Along lines in our conference of a Washington, Oregon kind of hostile environment on the road, and it'll be loud, and hopefully we can do our part to keep that 20% doing the noise making.
Mack, what's the best memory from your time in Texas?
Oh boy, there's too many. 16 years, a long time, and it's been a wonderful ride, and I've had a great time, and University of Texas has been wonderful to me. Our family, we couldn't have had the memories and made the friends that we've had anywhere else as well as we have at the University of Texas. And some people have asked me that question. Then when I started, I said, oh, that one too, and no, this one, and gosh, that was fun, and oh my gosh, I forgot about that. And there's just way too many. I'll probably be able to reflect on that down the road sometime, but not right now.
Any final questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.